Now we're taking a look here at the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that was released trailer, which is set in the Arkhamverse that we saw for a few games with Batman. And
I don't understand why they don't just bring in Bronze Tiger. Why do they have to race swap Deadshot, for the goodness sake? It's an animated video game. It's
not
graphical.
to mention,
why can't you just do, like, now at this point there's no excuse. At least with like the Batman, it was live action. Although still, that movie had the top choices for Catwoman were all leading black women. You know, those were at the top choices. So that they had an agenda going in forward.
well, it's obvious they don't. Yeah, they're not doing it on accident. Like, they're purposely trying to do it. But the one thing that bothers me even more than them race swapping is the fact that we've already seen Deadshot in this universe and he was white. This is the Arkhamverse, and Deadshot's in it. You fight him in Arkham City, and I believe he's in Arkham Origins as well.
He was in Arkham Origins.
So we've already seen him in this universe, and he was a white guy.
And also, didn't we see Amanda Waller, maybe?
I don't believe we saw Amanda Waller. We might have heard a reference to her.
And we're getting Skinny Waller. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She looks ugly herself. It's like her face and Harley Quinn's face. Look how ugly she is here. She looks nothing like her Arkham Knight counterpart.
How did Harley's Harley finish in Arkham Knight? I remember
she was just like hanging around with her own folk bad guy henchmen.
I assume that this is taking place after Arkham Knight, I guess.
Because Batman isn't here.
Yeah, because we see a Batman statue in the Hall of Justice. We got a Gizmo sighting.
Gizmo?
We have a Gizmo sighting.
Toymaster?
That's Gizmo. We've got a Gizmo sighting.
Younger.
Well, he's just supposed to look like that. He's a little different than his Teen Titans cartoon counterpart in the comic.
So which version is...
This looks more like the comic. This looks like more like the comic version. So it's pretty accurate from what I've seen of Gizmo in the comics. So we get this 4-person thing, and now we know the Arkham games, you were just mostly Batman, but they did kind of incorporate some stuff where you could play as some other characters in the story a little bit, and some tag team kind of stuff. So I don't know if you're going to be able to like tag team throughout this whole thing, where you can like switch through every part and play, like, you can play Harley and then switch to Deadshot, or if they're going to be like, there's certain parts of the story where you're Boomerang and this part of the story you're Deadshot. They haven't really shown any kind of gameplay, just kind of like, yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're going to add more characters. In that case, why couldn't you have done Bronze Tiger? But also here, I think it's like,
Bronze Tiger would be cool.
Yeah.
Bronze Tiger would have been a cool player to play as. Like,
yeah.
Because none of these guys are like super martial art type of fighters, kind of like Batman, where you can like free flow around. Yeah. Like, Deadshot is not a super big fighter like that. Harley does fight. She's actually got a pretty cool fighting in Arkham Knight, but she's not like Batman kind of fighting. And Shark is going to be a brute, rip through people, and Boomerang's not going to be a super big hand-to-hand fighter either. So a Bronze Tiger would have been really cool for this.
And I'm wondering if
that's Wonder Woman. That's Wonder Woman.
I think it's Wonder Woman.
That's Wonder Woman's sword.
Yeah, I was thinking it's... Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was Wonder Woman's sword.
Like a spear.
Because they've noticed that Wonder Woman, I don't believe, looks mind-controlled by Brainiac or whatever's going on in this trailer, because we see Flash.
Really?
Well, I know.
Pretty angry.
We see Jon Stewart. We see Flash. Well, maybe she is.
Angry. Oh, look at her face. She looks like an ape.
It's definitely a different Wonder Woman look. She's got her hair pulled back and the cape and stuff.
It looks awful.
Different looking Wonder Woman. And I also
I'm actually going to screenshot this because it's impressive how ugly she looks.
So we know we'll be fighting all the Justice League, I guess. I don't know if they're going to actually kill a Justice League member. That doesn't seem like a smart move there, especially if they're intending...
Suicide Squad versus the Justice League.
Well, I mean, if they're intending to use any of the other characters in the Arkhamverse going forward, which they might, they probably won't kill them. I guess they're probably going to stop them, and then I believe Brainiac is involved, so they're going to probably end up fighting Brainiac as like a boss. So it's not gonna be quite as down to earth as the Arkham games. And I'm not even sure if
At
the
least John
gameplay's...
Stewart is here, at least.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna be... I don't know if the game style is gonna be the same as... Is it very similar to Arkham games, even though it's kind of just set in the same universe. So I would be interested to see like a gameplay trailer to see kind of how this looks.
And the Flash looks weird.
The Flash looks like
Yeah,
Earth
we'll
2
see until we
Flash.
see the gameplay.
It looks like that Earth... Is that supposed to be Lex Luthor?
I think that was the Toy Master.
If that was Lex Luthor, like, wow.
Wow. No.
Oh, and never mind, his head blew up. That's not Lex Luthor. But it said
Wait,
Lex
in the
Corp.
background it says Lex Corp.
Yeah, but they didn't blow off Lex's head in the trailer, did they?
I don't know anymore. I wouldn't put it past them.
He's not gonna make it.
I mean, we'll just have to see, because you see what they do. I guess that was Poison Ivy too. But you'll see what happens with the Penguin and how they treat that character in a bit. So I wouldn't put it past them. They turn them into like these big characters into these like utter jokes.
Well, you know they're probably gonna bring in Poison Ivy just because Harley's in the game.
So that's the Suicide Squad.
So the
And
game will be coming out
finally-
next year. The other game that came out at DC Fandome, another trailer we
Came
got was...
out? It already come out?
Well, the game trailer that came out, I should say, that is the Gotham Knights, which actually kind of seems like it's following the Arkham storyline, even though it's not, because Bruce Wayne's dead, in quotes. He's not dead. I know he's not dead.
My
but
theory is that they were trying to do like a follow-up to Batman Arkham Knight, but then Rocksteady told them, no, you can't, because they got pretty upset that they probably did Arkham Origin, and they probably didn't want them to be included in the trilogy and just not part of the universe, but too late. But this time they're like, no, you're not. So I think Warner Brothers Montreal had to do its own thing this time, and it doesn't look bad. The gameplay looks from the last year, because they're not showing the gameplay now, which is maybe a little worrisome, but it looks okay in terms of just, I saw a lot of bugs in that original trailer, but the story here looks actually really cool. I'd be looking forward to playing this game if it was any good. So I think it's has interesting aspects of
the story-wise, it looks pretty cool. Like he said, it's just kind of seeing how the gameplay looks.
and then also story-wise, here's the thing. In the last year, we saw Batgirl like facing off against Mr. Freeze, and in that we had a story point where they were basically showing off the two-player option, and in the story you had the one character and then the second player who was there, but he didn't say anything throughout any of it. So, and it is very awkward when you have that second player in the background, and throughout the sequences and the cutscenes he's not saying a thing. That is like bit bad, because I remember there was this one Young Justice licensed game. It was like a spin-off of the show, and it was so bad. It's like, it reminds me of those cheap games, those licensed games where they don't put that much money into it. So you at least you have two characters, and both of them should be allowed to speak during the scenes themselves, not just be there in the background, because believe me, it's going to be very awkward while you're playing it in two player, and you have that awkward second person just saying nothing. So I hope they fix that.
Well, I kind of have the same question about this that I did at the Suicide Squad, about how they're going to utilize the different characters. Like, is there going to be a story part where you're each individual character, like a Red Hood storyline, a Batgirl storyline, and so on? Or you can be able to pick who you want to be for each part? You know, and are you going to be able to tag team in the same game? Like, say you have a mission with Robin and Nightwing, you can be able to go back and forth, kind of like in the fights in Arkham, where you kind of like can like kind of tag team back and forth and do takedowns and stuff. I know we've seen a little bit of gameplay like that, but just kind of questions I have that I'd be interested to find out. I mean, if it's a superhero game, I'm probably going to at least give it a try, you know, and it looks like a pretty cool story, getting to see the Court of Owls. Obviously, it would have been more interesting to see Batman with it too, but you know, these are still good characters that I like too, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah, true that. And I think the enemy selection is going to be interesting with the owls and the different character types. Batgirl's costume looks great, I think.
Have they
I'm a
confirmed if
fan of
that
that costume.
is Tim Drake or Damian Wayne Robin? Have they said?
It's Tim Drake.
Is Tim Drake Robin? Okay. I wasn't sure. He kind of looked a little bit like
Yeah,
Damian Robin,
yeah, he did.
so I wasn't sure which one they'd be going with.
But yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, so we got a couple DC games coming out, and we'll see how they come out, so let us know what you think.